You made it through there. Let's catch up. Who has some new exciting news? Anybody have?
I'm a grandfather.
I'm a grandfather. I saw the pictures. Gorgeous. She's so pretty. Absolutely. How about everybody else? Nothing happened? I'm not,
We're in the process of buying a building.
oh yeah. So we're talking to commercial realtor people, yeah. So you got a building picked out, you're ready to go?
Yep, hopefully we close at the end of next month.
Awesome, very good. How about anybody else? Nothing?
Oh, yeah, right here.
Oh, I can't see you with the light. You guys speak up, come on, Jerry.
Terry King Tyler with TCT Advantage, and I'm rebranding it.
Yeah!
TCT is no longer Terry King Tyler, it's trust, commitment, and tenacity. I love it.
Also saves money on business.
Catherine has an update.
Catherine, tell us what's going on. Catherine, stand up.
Oh,
Tell us.
I am not launched it yet, but I have finished working on a new website. It has an AI component built into the contact page. It parses, when you get something through your contact page, it parses everything out. Name, Google Sheet, and it also makes a recommendation and labels the lead as hot, cold, or warm.
Wow.
So,
Very cool. Jim?
I just want to say, man, what Catherine's talking about, she showed it to me, what, about 2 or 3 weeks ago?
it's all done now. It works totally.
It really is. It's a neat concept. I mean, good program.
Very cool. Everybody go out of town? Who went out of town? Natalia's back from California. Looks like you had a great trip out there.
St. Augustine.
I don't think I'm St. Augustine. I tried to go. I was too busy up there. I know I'm not violating any social contract here. I know Preston got engaged.
Wow!
He's not here. He's still in Wyoming or wherever.
Yeah, where's Preston?
No, he's out. He's still out of town.
He's still engaging.
He got engaged. Exactly. Put his pictures out top of a mountain somewhere. I went to Tampa, and then lost money at the casino. But it's okay. My wife made money. Hey, so how this works? We have organizers, and we have this program going on today. So what is this all about? The Kauffman Foundation started the 1 Million Cups 14 years ago. I lost the date. Started an entrepreneurial program for folks like us to get together. We meet every Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock. There's a little over 100 chapters all around the country that are doing the exact same thing we are on Wednesday mornings at 9 o'clock. We have a presentation, and we have time for a Q&A and comments and ideas and for sharing. So we have a presenter each week, and they're going to give us a 5 to 10 minute presentation about what their business is and what their ask is, what we can help them with. So that's the basic concept here. The organizers, Charlie Howell's over here, and Val's there behind the camera. Sean is over there on the wall, and I'm Tom Jordan. Who am I missing? Oh,
Casey.
that's right, Casey. Good God, sorry about that. Casey is here. So, and I think Jason is out under the weather right now, but he will be back. Hopefully next week will be okay. So those are the organizers. If you have any questions, comments, ideas, Carlos is kind of, he's organizer emeritus right now. He has a real job. So if you have any questions, comments, ideas about the program, or you want to become an organizer, see one of us, and we'll get you through the process. So we have any new members or any new guests that have never been here before? Sean, right? Chad, sorry. Oops, Sean was over here. That's right. Chad, stand up, tell us what you do.
My company builds structures out of shipping containers. We build homes like tiny homes. We build commercial restaurants, commercial kitchens, commercial restaurants, residential homes. We've done them all around the world. We work on FEMA, Department of Defense. We've got a factory in Maine, Connecticut, Summerville, South Carolina, and I'm working on one down here. So I've been working with Jim for a couple of years now. So
Awesome, very cool. Thanks for coming, Chad. Right here.
Hi, my name is Abaluda, and I hold a PhD in robotics. I own a startup very tiny on robotics. I build robot carriers and try to get funding, things like that.
Very cool, robotics. Well, hopefully we'll get you up here to do a presentation. Who else? Who's the first time visitors? In the back.
Good morning, my name is David O'Neill. I'm the store manager for TD Bank in New Smyrna. I've been with the company for about 10 years now. I used to cover the employment stores and also now in New Smyrna. So, working a lot with the community, trying to help a lot of small business owners and just kind of giving them the guidance and advice they're looking for difficult times and just kind of walk along their path, right? Help them to be successful. So.
Welcome. Glad to have you here. Somebody back here, Leslie? Yeah.
I'm retired. I got it again.
No pay,
But I wanted to find something new to do, some way to help or whatever. I started a business in 2000 in the motorcycle industry, created it into the #1 selling product in that division around the world. The #1 selling coolant antifreeze in the world in the motorcycle industry is called Engine Ice. So if you have anything you want to expand the business or learn or whatever, especially in the motorcycle industry, I can help out some.
There you go.
Hey, we'll have to talk about bike week.
Yeah, I
There you
can
go.
help out.
There you go. There you go. Anybody else?
Last one at the back.
Hello, I'm Joe Wanda, and
Henry, we're from Shooters Over Pest Control.
Okay.
We're here to expand the branch and pretty much take over about 20 franchise locations, hopefully in the next 5 years.
Thanks. All right, welcome. Glad you guys are here. It's fantastic. We had a great group this morning for the first meeting of the year. Make sure you check Facebook. That's where we post out our schedule. And we have some events coming up that'll be in March. We'll be doing the town hall and town hall after hours. So pay attention. If you're not following us on Facebook, find 1 Million Cups Daytona. Follow us. That way you'll get the posts and see what is going on. But we're here every Wednesday at 9 o'clock, and we have a presenter today we're going to talk about. Who's going to talk about his business. And Randall is with, I want to make sure I get it right, ScaleHound AI, right? So Randall's going to come up, tell us about his business, and then we'll have a Q&A afterwards. So Randall, come on up.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Randall Malden. I am the founder and owner of ScaleHound AI. And my background is from the service. I spent 20 years in the Marine Corps, transitioned in 2010, came out, and I was training in supply chain management. And training people how to do that, and AI started to become popular about 3 or 4 years ago. So I started to learn how to apply AI to procurement, supply chain management. I realized that there's a bigger issue. And the bigger issue is that a lot of companies hear about AI, they see AI, but they really don't know how to use it. In fact, they actually own AI because Microsoft and Google is installing AI on your applications every day that you may or may not know is there. And there's a lot of people running around offering AI solutions, but we really don't have an idea of what we're doing. What we're doing is, the problem is AI is already being used in daily work, but ownership of the results is unclear. What do we mean by that? We mean that who owns the results that AI is producing within your business. Because AI can produce things that are really, really good, really, really fast. It can also produce things that are really, really wrong, really, really fast. And who's going to be responsible for that result? So we go in and we talk to leaders and teams that are already using or experimenting with AI to find out who really owns it. Back and forth. AI produces results, real outcomes. Responsibility doesn't disappear when things go wrong. So that's the problem that we do at YMAP, is what we solve here. And as I said, there's a lot of people producing AI apps, AI bots, AI agents, AI everything, and people are buying it. And how many people in your business have AI right now? Right? Who owns the results that it was producing? Another question. Who owns the data that is influencing the results that you're getting from the AI? Because AI looks at what you have, the data that you have, and is producing answers based on the data that you've given it. So who owns that process of building that out? And so what we do is we expose people to the applied AI within their organization to reveal a bigger question, which is who owns the AI? And what we do, we start with our customer journey is AI in a day, and that'll be my ask towards the end, who would like to work with us to help produce these events. And what we do is we experience and show people hands-on AI within the business, within the AI they already own. So they see the benefits of AI. Then we go in to offer a question of, well, who owns these results? Why now? AI adoption is accelerating faster, but then the conversation about responsibility. Again, who's responsible for the AI that you're putting inside your business, or who's responsible for the AI that companies are injecting into your business that you may not even be aware of. And what we do, why us? My experience shows us that despite the outcome, somebody is always responsible. And you have software, you have SaaS products, you have a lot of IT that's out there giving you access to applications, but who's really responsible for the result? And if that application is producing the wrong result, somebody's still responsible for it. And the old adage, remember that we used to say, the devil made me do it? I used to have a sweatshirt that said that when I was a little guy. I said, the devil made me do it. Now people say, well, the AI gave me that answer. Just like the devil made me do it, it's not going to fly. It's not going to fly with AI. It made me do it. So who we're looking for? People that are already using AI through community talks, workshops, and networking. We're looking to talk to business owners, CEOs, founders, chairmen of the boards that are running companies. And then we go in with our customer journey that you can see here, AI in a day, exposes the AI that I own. Then we do an AI ownership diagnostic. We go into the company, look at their workflows, see how they could use AI. But before we even answer the AI application, it's like, well, who's going to own the result? And if they don't have a clear answer on who owns the result, the next engagement is AI ownership installation. We install AI ownership, make sure we clearly identify who owns the results. Then we engage in installing AI-powered behavior by giving them an AI control tower that uses the AI they already own. How do I use this in day-to-day workflows? How do I write an email faster? How do I write an email and set an appointment? Have a transcript of a meeting, produce results from those meetings, from that transcript, then take that transcript and then start to do actual tasks and deliverables. Then we go into a fractional CAIO role, fractional chow, where we continue to advise and show them how to get the best results from AI, knowing that there is somebody that owns that result. So my ask today is introductions to leaders, associations, business groups to help experience AI in a day, which is a 2-hour workshop where we go in and we show folks the value and benefits of using AI with the ultimate question, well, who would own the results if you used this application within your business? With that, your questions are very welcome because I know everyone has an opinion about AI, so I look forward to it, to the conversation.
There we go. So let me quickly ask you a question here. So our AI is being adopted at such a rapid rate. It's kind of like when PCs first came out and everybody in an office then had the power to install their own programs. Right. So what you ended up with was a cornucopia of programs that people installed all across their computers that weren't being managed properly. The admins had no idea these things were out there. Is this the same kind of situation? So people in businesses are adopting their own AI tools on a personal basis without any kind of corporate guidance, approval, and control. Is this what you're trying to do, is become the manager for all this?
So to go back to your original statement, what we're seeing, to put it a different way, is technology is outrunning governance within the organization. Think of email when it first came out, just like you explained. People are sending emails back and forth, fast, you get to communicate faster, but what was the real issue was, who can I send it to, what can I send, how can I stop somebody from sending it? So technology advanced faster than the governance, the rules were put in place within the organization. So what we're doing is establishing that behavior within the organization, identifying a clear owner, who owns that AI process so that they can manage those results. Create the rules, create the structure, create the framework that then allows the company to operate using AI. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm trying to get the logistics of how you actually do that. That's a big ask.
Great question. So how we do that is through step one, which is the AI ownership diagnostic, where we go into the organization and look at how they're currently doing business. If they have AI and they're using it, ask a very simple question. Who owns the results of this AI? Well, IT owns it. No, IT owns the tool and turned on the application. The results produced by that tool is owned by the chief revenue officer, the engineer, the procurement person who owns the results of using the AI. Now that we know who owns the results, they can help govern and put the rules in place to properly manage that AI application.
So I work for a law firm, and in my firm we do have AI. But it still needs a little bit of fine tuning. How would your organization be able to find those legal words that we're not allowed to say when promoting something on social media, or running an ad, or even an email that we need to send to any of our clients?
So the question I would start with, you're using AI, who owns AI within your law firm?
My IT department does.
Your IT turned AI on. Who's responsible and owns the results produced by that AI?
We have a large department that does in 3 different sectors. So we have a department that creates all the software within another software that we purchased.
So
whatever that organization may be, they're the one that obviously owns the rights to it. But
So,
then we
so when
purchased
that
it.
AI application produces something, produces a social media post or something like that, who's responsible for that social media post going out on social media?
That would be, again, that would be a design department that we have. That is also an attorney.
Okay.
That knows the legality of all the things.
That's kind of right. I wasn't sure if the designer was a
No,
graphic
he's-
designer or an
no,
actual
no,
attorney that is
he's an
really
excellent
responsible
attorney,
for it. So
yeah.
they're educated, and that's why by designating that owner, they now know what's correct and what's not correct. They can actually turn it off, and that's probably one of the more important pieces is who can actually turn it off.
Now, does your program catch those phrases, those words or anything, and says, like shoots out a red symbol or something in regards to, you cannot use this?
We're not installing a software or a program. We're installing behavior. So we would talk with the person who's the designer, the attorney that's designing that, to make sure they understand how AI is interacting with the result they're trying to produce. Who's giving that AI the information it needs to create that social media post?
Why would that help my law firm?
Because if you're not certain where the data is coming from, how do you know how it's being produced? Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Hi, of course AI is the hottest topic, right? And everybody's curious and intrigued. I'm Natalia with BCS Accounting. I have 2 questions for you. First of all is like, do you have like a certain industry that you work well with, like a niche in your consultation and the service that you provide? And also, if you can give me an example, like a success story of one of your clients, how you take on their business using the AI and where they are now. So if you can give like an example, I probably will be able to kind of like relate more, because it sounded amazing. Everybody is jumping on AI, wanting to be able to utilize it, but I would like to see like a, real example or real life example that you recently maybe, had a success on.
So what was your first question again?
The niche, what kind of type of business that is work well and you had,
So to answer that question, we're a startup. We incorporated in July of last year, and we're building this business.
Okay.
And we've submitted proposals to nonprofits, to real estate firms, commercial real estate firms, to environmental science consulting firms. And the question's always been about how do they use AI? And their concern is if we turn it on, then what? And that goes back to the example of where we go, how are we doing now? What have we done? We've gone in, we do AI in a day, and our proposals are going out to do step 1, the diagnostic, to identify the processes within an organization and identify the owners of those processes then we engage the next step after that. Does that make sense?
Yes. Do you have an example, like, okay, a realtor testimony or?
Not at this point.
Okay. Thank you.
Again, we're a startup, we're building this business. A lot of proposals are out, but as you said, there's a lot of questions like, well, how does this all work?
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Hey, good morning. Morning. I like your approach to logistics and to kind of backtrack the structure because it gives a lot more security for me. So how do I approach a company, several companies that are in one that doesn't have a real understanding of AI but needs to aggressively use it to go to the next phase of our expansion?
So great question, man. I was with the firm that you're currently working with, 20 franchise owners. How can we use AI to help? Is that fair? So one way, again, we would start is like having a single person that's responsible for AI within that organization. Who is your chief AI officer? That's one of the roles we provide as a fractional chief AI officer, where we help provide that guidance and leadership to use AI to enable your strategic vision for the business. We operationalize the tech. Does that make sense? So by coming into your company, we would start with, what are you trying to do? Who's responsible for those results? And then as the president, you're responsible for the results. It's like, okay, you have a lot more questions about AI, how AI is. Not, we're going to turn on an application that does, let's say, receive phone calls and creates customer service tickets. Well, what policy is driving that customer service agent to create that ticket, to answer that question? Because AI can answer a lot of questions for you, but if you don't have a clear policy that's driving that AI to produce answers, then you have no idea where those answers are coming from. And then another thing to consider, your employees, your team is using AI whether you said they could or couldn't. They're doing it anyway. Shadow AI. So if they're putting a proposal into ChatGPT, two things are happening. Whatever question they're asking, what's influencing that answer they're getting from ChatGPT? There's a billion people every day interacting with ChatGPT, so what's giving them a feedback answer? Two, they just uploaded your company data into the big world. And anyone that knows how to prompt it can find it and use it for their advantage. Does that make sense? So you gotta put that governance, that policy in place. And I would ask, what is your AI policy in your company today? It's okay to, because I've asked large companies, multi-million-dollar companies, that very specific question. Well, what's your AI policy? And they go, hey, COO, CTO, CIO, what's our policy? We don't have one yet. So they're not even telling their employees what they can and can't do with AI. And think about social media. Before we had social media policies, what would happen? Somebody would post, and away it goes. If it was good for your company, you were proud, this is great. If it was bad for your company, you're like, wait a second. Right? Then we came up with social media policies, and that's what our point of existence is. Technology's outrunning governance. We want to put that governance in place, make sure the rules are there. Does that make sense?
So my question is, and I sort of know the answer to this. What needs to happen contractually? And how do contracts need to change so that if you're working with a contractor and they're using AI, or they've built an AI thing, and something breaks, and they say, well, it's not my fault, it's ChatGPT's or Claude or whoever's fault. How do we go about structuring contracts differently, given that more and more people are trying to use AI? And it's not like I can, legally point to ChatGPT and say, oh, it's all their fault. If I wrote a prompt or built an agent or whatever, it just didn't do what it was supposed to do.
Now we go back to who owns that result. They're accountable contractually. Or if they're an employee of the company, they're accountable performance-wise. So by having that ownership, that's going to engage you as a contractor that's creating the agent to make sure, okay, what's the result? If this produces the wrong answer, what happens? More importantly, it gives you as the contractor, hey, we just got the wrong result. Can I turn it off? Instead of going through a whole committee of can we turn it on or off, you've got the one ownership guy who says, yeah, turn it off. Now let's figure out what happened. Does that make sense?
Yeah, how do we go about changing how we contract or how anybody contracts when we do use AI? I think not only has AI outstripped governance, it's outstripped legality in a lot of ways. And I can, if I'm a bad person, I can write an agent that does an AI insert and I just act everything that I was after.
Which is when we start with, we go through diagnostic leadership installation of leadership, and then we do the installation of the control tower. Part of that installation of the control tower is securing your atmosphere, be it Google Workspace or Microsoft 365. We secure it. What connections do you have going out via Zapier and all these other that connect you to all these third-party apps? Because there's several stories out there. I'll just give you one called SalesLoft. They connected to Outlook. The hackers went into SalesLoft, got the token for Outlook, and then got into the Microsoft 365. The person that was responsible for connecting that SalesLoft would have been the person accountable for that connection. So they could have turned it on or turned it off, or asked the question, what happens if it gets bad? Or is this really secure? And really ask those questions. Does that make sense? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, perfectly. Thank you.
My question's pretty simple. I just want to make sure I'm understanding what you do. You said you don't install software.
Correct.
So what you're doing is educating the business owner and the company on the use of AI and to make policies. That's it.
We're installing governance, which requires education and policy and enforcement.
Please define installing governance.
Installing governance is identifying the rules that allows you to use or not use AI within your organization.
So you're basically an educator. Okay, that's what I'm confused.
An educator will go in and say, you need policy, here are policies.
Right, that's what I'm.
We go in and we say, here's AI, how you can help your company.
Right.
What are your rules and policies?
Right.
We don't have any. Let's create the rules, create the policies, and make sure there's enforcement within your organization by clearly identifying who those people are that would do that. Now, as an educator, I have no enforcement role.
But you help them set policy and you teach them how to do it.
And as a chief AI officer, I would have responsibility of enforcement, to where if somebody was using it wrong, I could go in and say, stop.
Okay.
So an educator gives it, has no teeth. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
This is fun. We have fun.
All right, cool, yeah.
Hello. Yes, sir. Actually, I need your card, by the way. I know somebody that needs to connect with you.
So, I think like there is like an entangled question here, and it's about like the example and your niche, because AI can generate, you can do so many things with AI. In my case, I write tons of code. Like I write a lot of code. Most of the time, I use some type of GPT to help me make some templates. This code that this GPT makes most of the time are wrong, if you know what you're saying. Basically, I combine a bunch of the codes that they make and I fix it until I make like a bigger programs. This GPT, they cannot architect something very complex. They cannot. So my question is, going back to the first question, the niche, because there is so many things you can do. So in the pipeline was a company who uses AI to create other AI or other softwares. What will be your participation? For example, there is a pipeline. My boss told me create this program. I use AI and I create using AI a program, and then I send it to my customers. So what will be your job in that pipeline, and how do you make money? That's what I wanted to understand.
Is that a good question?
Yeah.
Okay. So the niche is more or less the position that I want to talk to, which is the CEO of the company that installs the ownership of the home In that discussion there, had we been engaged with that company, you would have engaged a program to create code. We would have asked, what is that program? What's influencing that program to create that code? And is it correct or not correct? And who determines that answer? Is it you? Is it somebody else within the organization? Who's determining that answer? So that when the code is wrong, that person, not necessarily get fired, but they can fix it because they're the experts. And because you really highlighted in your question, this is why AI is not going to replace people. You have to have the experts in place to know what is correct and what is not correct. Now, for some things, there's, automation can work really, really well. But for a situation like this, you've got to have an expert that knows what wrong is to stop it. Because say you send it to a customer, what's the real impact? You send it to the customer, and it's wrong, you lose the gig, and that customer's going to tell who? Everybody else. So the value of our service is to install that ownership so that we don't send wrong code to the customer. By asking questions, mapping out the ownership piece, and really engaging with you to make sure that there's governance and control within your organization to stop things. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think.
And I can appreciate everyone like, what's your niche? This stuff is moving so fast, there is no niche right now. It's moving that quick. So it's like, I'm just getting in the market and I'm talking, who has a problem? And they ask me questions and that draws me into the conversation.
So are you you're literally talking about looking at the corpus of knowledge of what each agent, what AI system, what it was trained on? When you talk about source?
The owner, the expert, would know that answer.
No, they wouldn't.
They would know what the result they're trying to achieve is, correct?
Well, they know the result, but most of us don't know what the AI systems were trained on. Unless it's totally internal, and then you use your own documentation.
That's the question.
But if I'm using ChatGPT, it's tough to find out what they were trained on.
Now, how many business owners in the room know what ChatGPT is trained on for your particular niche on the questions you're asking for it to do every day? What's influencing those answers? Everything. Is that okay? No. So you need to put a rule in place that says don't use ChatGPT for X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, hi, Pete Fractional Marketing. I think you've got a great business here. But I'm reading the room and there's a lot of confusion.
Absolutely.
And I have a comment and a suggestion. Everything you're doing here, reduce it down to 3 sentences. What problem are you solving? What is your solution to that problem? And what is the benefit of your solution? If you can answer those 3 things in 1 sentence each, you'll clear up some of that confusion. And my ears pricked up when you said something, because everybody in here I think uses ChatGPT. But what you actually said, I think I heard you say rightly, is that so many companies out there, because the technology is running so fast, may actually inadvertently be installing Trojan horses within their organization because they have no policy as to how to interact with AI. And anybody out there that is interested in what you're doing and knows how to prompt can actually be spying on your corporation, and that results in loss of revenue, loss of ideas, and loss of strategic advantages. And so if you can condense that into those 3 sentences, I've already got a referral. I've got somebody I'd like to introduce you to that works in companies between 5 to 15 million in the EOS universe, and I think introducing you to him to go in and formulate AI policies would be a really smart move. So if you could do that, I think you would be able to convince a room like this a lot.
And that's the kind of feedback I was looking for.
Yeah.
Randy, your message doesn't make sense, but do this. Good, that's why I come to 1 Million Cup. This has been my best referral source since I started this company in July. It's 1 Million Cup. So you guys didn't do that. But to speak to your point 1, the person I talked to on Friday, she's a consultant with AI, and she teaches salespeople how to get competitive intelligence in ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, and everything. So she's saying, yeah, everything you just described, you're giving it information. She's saying, no, this is how we get it, and this is what we use it for. And if you're not engaged in this process, knowing what you're putting into ChatGPT, as well as how to extract what you really need, you're missing the opportunity.
That's good, brother. So, from what I understand, you and your company set up AI governance for organizations so that they have set policies on how to implement AI properly, both legally and keeping their company safe. My question to you, was that correct?
That's correct.
My question to you is, who is on your team and what are their expertise and backgrounds? Do you have people who are lawyers, accountants? In what areas can you come in and really know how to implement this safely and those sort of things?
Great question. So I've got 3 people in my company, me, myself, and I. And as we address specific problems, we engage the experts to answer those questions. Going back to the attorney in the back of the room, what she was saying. That's why I was asking, well, who's really giving the answers or governing the answers coming out of that pod? The company has it. They have an attorney. Maybe they don't, so we need to engage an attorney to bring in and say, is this correct, is this legal? Is that required for that AI project? Maybe we don't need an attorney for that. Maybe we don't need a CPA for something else. We have to know what the problem is, and that's what SCALE stands for in ScaleHound. State the problem, collect the data, assess the AI platform that's best for that problem, launch the problem building process, execute and refine over and over and over. Thank you.
Me again. Do you see eventually there being a situation where particular companies, whether they be lawyers, accountants, Indian chiefs, actually take the data from something like ChatGPT or Claude, siphon off the relevant niche data, put it into a local AI environment, which you can do, and then scrub it so that it gives you the correct information for your particular niche?
So that's beyond my technical expertise. Let's say that was a challenge. We would break that down. We would engage the experts that can answer that. But if we don't have governance in place, we don't have ownership, then having that conversation isn't really worth it until we have those 2 questions answered. Does that make sense?
And I mean, I think that is probably where we're going to end up at some point, where people actually can control the data inside their particular niche.
That goes back to not only is what data are you putting into ChatGPT,
Exactly.
so people can find you when they're doing research about attorneys in Daytona. Is your law firm putting information on your website that AI can properly index so you show up as an answer? And it's like, which attorney should I engage with in Daytona for my divorce? But this is what I do.
Yeah,
I know there's folks in the room who are AI engineers that can do that kind of stuff for you. They know how to properly structure it. They know how to set it up so that you are found within the AI sphere out there, right? Like you. Yeah. Go ahead and say your name again. You're Randy too.
Brandon.
Brandon. What's your company? I'm sorry.
He's from all of those stories.
But he's somebody that he does that kind of stuff, right? So, go ahead.
Randy, I see your business as more of a compliant agency, and I think that's awesome. You would come into the business and kind of see, hey, we're here to set all those standards that you may or may not know, and that's awesome. And so I was thinking, could your business also be training our CTOs or that may or may, because that is, instead of like coming in as a fractioner or telling us what to do, you could train our CTO and say, hey, that the person may be lacking in this industry. And
that's a great, and we thought through that. And a successful engagement for us is us leaving the company. By leaving the company, we have to ensure CTO, CIO, the CAIO is compliant, is certified to run AI within that organization. They understand what ownership is. They understand how to get data, what's influencing decisions. They understand how to say no to a project.
so I guess what I'm saying, jumping on what Pete said, I think what could be better is communicating your business. Instead, just summarizing in a quick paragraph and saying this is what we specifically offer business is to tackle these problems. And I think that could better communicate what you, it's a good business. I can see this, taking off. I really do.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, that's great feedback, thank you. How are we doing on time? So nobody wants to leave. Let's go.
Good morning. I just have a quick question. What can you do to help us 1099 contract employees who are independent insurance agent brokers?
So, you probably wouldn't be a fit for the bigger model, but
Is
you
there
come to
somebody out
AI in
there?
a day, and as a 1099 insurance broker, I would ask what AI is your parent companies that you're working with, how are they enabling it? I've talked to an insurance broker, and she's working with 20 different insurance companies, and they are all creating their own AI. But then again, I would ask, who's running that AI? Who's responsible for the results? Because if you go in, I'll use it for instance. You go into that parent company and you say, what insurance policy should I write for this customer? It gives you an answer. Well, how do you know that's the right answer? Have you asked that parent company what's influencing that answer? What policy is driving that answer? When was the last time that policy was updated? Because if it gives you an answer based on a policy from 2025 and you're in 2026 and the policy's changed, now it's giving you wrong information. Now, not only you, but every other independent broker out there is giving it wrong information, which could create a liability for that insurance company. Could create a problem for you if it's, a customer does it wrong, or they get the wrong information, they go to somebody else and say, well, that's old policy, you want to look at this one. So now it's created an issue, so that you want to ask those questions. Does that make sense?
It might be something in the future that you would look at.
The best opportunity for you and I to do is sit down for a cup of coffee and walk through it, say, okay, are you asking these questions? Or come to AI in a day, and that would be, and when we do AI in a day, we like to do it for a particular group, like insurance agents. Everyone's in a room, insurance agents, because they're all going to have similar questions. Or real estate brokers, or sales guys, all the same people, a lot of them have the same questions, so that's why we do AI in a day.
Thank you very much.
If you'd like to work together, we can do AI in a day for all the insurance agents in Daytona. Great.
Very cool. Excellent. And great presentation this morning. Thanks for coming. Thank you. Great presentation. Interesting topic, obviously, and probably have a lot more questions after we adjourn here. So, the one thing that we always try to do in the 1 Million Cups community is ask you, and you kind of got it up here, but let's go into detail. When we all leave here today, what's the one thing that the 1MC community in Daytona can do for you?
The best thing for my ask today is really starting the funnel, the AI today. The opportunity to educate people on the benefits of using AI within their company, and that's going to lead to the conversation of, well, who owns AI within the company? Because that's going to give us the most exposure, that's going to give us the top of the funnel that we can then go into. And that's really what's led to a lot of my conversations and proposals that I put out. AI today, hey, we need this for our company, and then we talk to the company. So the cheapest space possible, all we need is a screen and a projector and a room full of people, and we go through how to use AI in everyday applications. We use Microsoft 365 as the main platform, but everything we say in Microsoft 365 you can usually apply to the Google Workspace. Because you already own that AI. Why aren't you using it? So that's what we want to do.
Very cool. Excellent job. Great. Thanks for coming. We're going to bring up the lights here. We're going to bring up the lights here. We're going to do our voluntary obligatory